Hey there, Tasha here. Welcome back. Now, you guys know that last week my book, Keto, A Woman's Guide and Cookbook, was released. So it's out there in the universe, finally, helping people get started and fine-tune their efforts for the female body. And of course, you know, because I haven't stopped talking about it. But I did want to ask, just quickly, for a minute of your time to head to Amazon and leave a review for me there. I read every single one I get, and it would be absolutely amazing to hear what your favorite part of the book is or what you're most excited to learn about. These reviews also help me to spread the word by cueing Amazon to include my book in the search results. Your reviews are hands down the biggest and best support for the success of my book release. So as much as I hate to ask for favors, this small gesture has a huge impact for me. So big thank you to everyone who takes a minute to leave a quick review. I really do appreciate it. Now, today I want to talk about portion control, but this podcast is easy keto with Tasha, not drive yourself mad working towards perfection with Tasha. So I'm going to focus on the easiest way to do portion control and measuring for keto. No digital scales, although I do love them sometimes. No cups or spoons, no ridiculously expensive containers that you have to spend hours washing every week. Can you guess what it is? I will give you a couple hints. You carry them with you everywhere you go. This is what you use to write, but it's not a pen. One of these has 5 fingers and 2 of them have 10. Hashtag hand riddles. Yes, I'm talking about your hands and using them to portion your food out for keto or otherwise. And I wanted to share this with you because I recently did a small group talk and I shared this tip for building easy keto meals using your hands as guides for portion control and measuring sizes. And people loved it. There was a great response. And when I see people have those light bulb moments, like, oh yeah, I get it, I can do this, that's the kind of stuff that I really love to share. Because we can all have a tendency to overcomplicate things with technology or get inside our own heads and bang around all these ideas about doing things precisely and exact. And if you've been listening to the show for a while now, you know this about me, that I am a recovering perfectionist. I used to do a lot of laboratory work and I was trained to be exacting in that kind of way. But that kind of attention to detail doesn't really belong in the kitchen, especially if you're struggling with your eating habits or trying to make big changes and improvements. The last thing you want is to add even more obstacles or stressors or get caught up in that endless loop of perfection where it's never quite perfect. So you're never happy with it because it's food, it's fuel, and it's fun and delicious. And if you're working towards improvement, you're moving in the right direction, regardless of if it's perfect or not, because perfection doesn't really exist. So I gave my little talk in my training and I was really happy with the feedback. Someone said, I'll definitely give this way of measuring a go. In the past, I've found logging everything in MyFitnessPal so tedious that I end up losing interest after a few days. And I totally get that. That really lit me up, like really truly made me happy because I also find tracking every little bite and morsel in MyFitnessPal to be exhausting. Okay, it's just mentally exhausting for me. And I am not much of a tracker. I gave it a try, like a real legitimate try, like multiple times throughout my life. I have tried this, but ultimately it's not really my style. It's just not for me. Okay, so simplifying it and making this something more manageable, easier, and a tool to use for wherever your nutrition journey takes you really made me happy. So I'm not a tracker. I'm a meal planner. I like to do the meal planning portion of things. I'm a planner through and through. And though I like to use apps for nutrition information and planning purposes, I don't love winging it and obsessing over everything I eat throughout the day. It's just not something that feels good. So it was not only nice to get the feedback that it was manageable and more approachable, it's just really nice to hear that other people prefer the low-tech, more intuitive approach to keto, okay? Especially when there's diet labels like lazy keto if you don't track or dirty keto if you eat certain things. There's such a ridiculous, holier than thou vibe to some of these popular terms for ways of eating keto that I don't really support or believe in. I think they're very silly and we shouldn't label our food like that. So, because there's nothing lazy about trying to improve your eating habits, right? But that is another rant for another day. So first off, I'm going to tell you the easiest way to build a keto meal. And it's really, really easy. So don't even bother taking notes. Just hear me out on this one. Pick a protein, layer in carbs, and add fat as needed. 3 easy steps. Pick a protein, carb, and fat as needed. Now, the protein can be fish, meat, eggs, tofu, seitan, whatever protein-rich source that fits within your preferences. And I start with protein because it's the most important macro to prioritize in terms of including it in your diet for lean body mass support at every meal, okay? Protein is the building block of your body, and it should be the building block of your meals. All right. So it also helps keep you full. So if you're struggling with hunger, protein is a good thing for that. Now, the carbs are your non-starchy veggies in this scenario, like leafy greens or other keto-friendly vegetables like spinach, bok choy, collard greens, radishes, and turnips are just a couple examples. And the fat is layered in as needed to align with your goals. Now, this can be your cooking oil, your dressing, your cream if you do dairy, and of course, season as desired so it tastes extra delicious. That's the easiest way to build a keto meal. So you're probably thinking, okay, great, but how much? And this is where the hands come in. Your protein portion is about the size of your palm, and that will realistically give you about 3 to 4 ounces of a protein-rich ingredient, give or take, right? The carbs, your non-starchy veggies, like the leafy greens, that's going to be about 2 hands cupped together. And that will give you a good veggie portion for fiber, which doesn't directly impact ketosis, micronutrients, phytonutrients, and all the other good stuff that you get from vegetables. And your fat serving size will be your thumb, which works out to be right around a tablespoon, okay? So the volume of your thumb is roughly the volume of 1 to 2 tablespoons, give or take. And a teaspoon is more like a thumbnail area rather than the whole entire thumb. So pick your palm-sized protein, layer in 2 cupped hands of non-starchy veggies, add a thumb of your fat of choice, and season as desired. It is so simple. And that is a beautifully balanced keto meal. And it didn't take a lot of special tools or ingredients. It didn't even require a recipe, right? Simple, simple stuff. So let's say you like chicken breast, broccoli rabe, and olive oil. Throw it on a sheet pan with maybe some garlic salt, pepper, and red chili flakes and bake it. Okay, just a quick example. That's a keto meal. Your chicken breast would be the palm of your hand. The broccoli rabe, 2 cupped hands, tossed in a thumb of olive oil and seasoned to taste. So easy. Or maybe you love fish like me and you can grab a salmon fillet the size of your palm, 2 cupped hands full of bok choy and coat it with a thumb of coconut oil. Season it to taste with ginger and soy sauce or coconut aminos, then pop it in the air fryer, put it in the oven, or fry it up in the skillet. You get the idea, right? Maybe you're a vegetarian. And you can still use this simple formula as well, okay? Just pick your meatless protein, which could be animal-based like eggs or cheese, or something plant-based like black soybeans, tofu. The super firm kind is especially high in protein, or seitan, that's really high in protein as well. There's options, okay? Then just layer in your remaining carbs and fat as needed. Season for a unique flavor and you are done. Cooking a keto meal really can be that simple. I love teaching this kind of stuff, you guys. I'm actually working on developing a meal planning course for keto. It's a program for people who don't love the tracking approach. Basically for people like me. And the hands as measuring tools are one of my favorite approaches for this kind of thing. And it's especially great for people who love easy peasy and they don't want to fuss with the scales and stuff. They're just like, that's not going to work for me long term. You know, changing your eating habits, doing all of this kind of stuff, it requires something that you're going to be able to stick to. So if you can find something that works for you in the long run, like something that you feel like you're going to do forever and you can do forever, that's what it's all about, okay? Plus, who doesn't love using their hands for stuff, right? The beauty of this approach is that your hands really are personalized measuring devices, right? Think about your hands compared to your kids or your partner. Larger hands require larger portions, while smaller hands require smaller portion sizes. It's just a really fun, easy way to cook. So here's the lowdown on the other measurements you can use for your hand. And if you head over to my site, Ketogasm.com, you can actually pick up a free PDF of this for a cheat sheet to use as a reference in your own kitchen. So go to Ketogasm.com and grab the show notes for episode 13 if you want to download this cheat sheet. 1 palm is about 3 to 4 ounces, and you can use that for meat, fish, poultry, any high protein-rich ingredients, okay? A thumb is about 1 to 2 tablespoons, and you're gonna wanna use that for concentrated fats or oils. A thumbnail is about 1 teaspoon, and that's for concentrated fats and oils as well. A fist is about 1 cup, and that's best used for soups, casseroles, any kind of weird wonky measurements that you might use volume with. Think 1 cup. A fist is 1 cup. Vegetables and fruits can also be measured this way. 1 cupped hand is about a 1/2 cup, and that's really perfect for using for nuts, seeds, and dairy, while the 2 cupped hands, like we talked about earlier, is about 1 ounce, and that's perfect for low-carb veggies and low-sugar fruits. Again, there's a cheat sheet to download for this over on my website. If you're interested, head over to Ketogasm.com, and I have this specific link in the show notes. Now, I really hope you guys find this to be as helpful as I have. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Ketogasm podcast. You are awesome. I really hope the show's added value to your keto journey. Making big changes to your eating habits can be a little tricky, but if you're taking the time to listen and learn about keto, you're well on your way. You got this. Be sure to visit Ketogasm.com for the show notes with full transcripts, references, and resources to help you out, including a totally free course called Hello Keto. It's helped over 75,000 people start keto with confidence. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.